All right. So as I said, I'm going to briefly introduce myself. My name is Ali Mayorano. I'm a marketing communications assistant at Student Health Services. Student Health Services, in addition to putting on great events like this, or virtual events, and now fortunately in person as well, we offer a plethora of different health services. The health center is a state-of-the-art medical facility on campus. And to explore our services, you can go to our website. It's studenthealth.ucf.edu. We're also very active on social media, so you can follow us on our social media profiles so that you can get updates about great events like this, tips that we throw out, and just general information that's good to know. I'm going to turn it over to Kristina Grabnickas, our resident sleep expert here at Student Health Services, who will be letting you know some great tips today on how to get a good night's sleep.
Great, thank you. Can everybody hear me? Hopefully, just let us know in the chat. And I'm so happy to be here. I have been at the health center, I guess, 20 years now. I started the medical school clinic, satellite clinic for Lake Nona when it opened in 2009. And then the summers, I come out to the main campus. So I started the sleep workshop for UCF 10 years ago, about a decade ago, because I had students asking me for sleeping pills. And I thought, we need to tweak and find out why you're not sleeping, what's going on. So it's just a matter of looking at different tips that really can help you, because if you get great sleep, you're going to get great grades for sure, because you're going to remember more. Your memory is going to be consolidated better. You'll remember things for exams. And also there's so many benefits for sleep, longevity, and I often think of it as good sleep equals good health equals good life. So let's start out. Lavender, we know, is really good for sleep, aromatherapy. So my presentation is good sleep, good health, and good life. And if you ever want an appointment with me, you can call and schedule at the health center, and we'll give you that phone number a little bit later on. And I'd love to tweak your schedule or talk to you, consult with you of any sleep questions or anything that you might have. I'd love to help you out. So let me see here. I'm going to go ahead and go. The objectives that we have is, why is it important? Why do we worry about so much? And why is it people talking about poor sleep, and what's so important about that? And I want to talk about the sleep in the brain. For all of you science buffs and geeks out there, I'm going to kind of touch on how interesting the brain is on sleep, and how it works, and how it's connected, and how we shut down. And it's all a cycle, and it's all timing. Sleep is timing. So I'm going to go over one thing that couple of barriers that inhibit the hours of sleep. And then what's fatigue? What is fatigue? Everybody says, oh, I'm fatigued. What does that mean? And then we're going to look at quality of sleep and how long you're supposed to sleep. And what is sleep duration? Like, you could have said, hey, I slept 9 hours, but I wake up groggy. Why is that? So we're going to go through that. And then the piece de resistance, this is my favorite part of the whole presentation, is your sleep hygiene. Those are tips that we're going to go over that will help you improve your sleep and the quality of sleep. And I believe this is a poll that we're going to do, and Allie's going to take over.
I'll just kind of explain how this works. So this is a fun interactive piece of this slideshow. If you go to the URL listed on this widget on the slide, it's pollev.com/UCF-SHS-158, or you can text UCF-SHS-158 to 22333. You can answer, and your answers will come up on the screen in real time. So we can kind of talk about why you guys think sleep is so important, and we can see everyone's answers. So if you want to start putting those texts through, we can start to see what your guys' input is.
Yeah, please do the poll, because there's a raffle coming up and you want to win some really cool things, and they'll probably be connected to whoever's going to be doing the poll. So we want you to participate, and it's really, really neat stuff. So please participate. So can I go on, Allie?
Let's wait, just a couple seconds to see if
Okay.
any answers pop up. Again, we strongly encourage you guys to participate and give your
Okay.
feedback so we can kind of play on whatever you guys say and incorporate that into trying to teach you this information the best way possible. Also, if it's easier, if you don't want to do the online component, you're more than welcome to answer in the chat. So you can just bring up the chat in this Zoom meeting and just type there as well. All right, it doesn't look like we're getting any answers right
Yeah, it's
now.
acting like really weird. It's not working so well, so that's
Gotcha.
probably why.
In that case, you can just go ahead and type in the chat if you have a question, and I'll just read them off. And that way, we can kind of just get on with the interactive piece.
Okay, thanks.
So why is sleep important? Sleep's a vital role. It's one of the top 3 pillars of health. You need sleep, diet, and exercise, right? But sleep's easier. I hate to say that, but it is, okay? So you want to get the good quality of sleep. What does that mean? Good quality is really helping your mental health. It's actually physically helping you because your skin rejuvenates, your mind rejuvenates, your quality of life, and it's safety, right? You don't want to be driving drowsy because there's been so many accidents with people that are sleep deprived. We've seen it on the news with all the horrible tragedies with the oil spills and the Amtrak train. And, we've seen the Walmart trucks and things that have killed lots of people, and the school buses that people just kind of fell asleep. And I've actually had some students fall asleep and get very seriously injured that they were lucky to be alive. So I started this program to make sure that you guys, my UCF students, are #1 priority in getting their good night's sleep. And night, I spelled it K-N-I-G-H-T, which I thought was pretty cute. So you want to look at why it's important, because it's linked to heart disease, it's linked to kidney failure, it's linked to diabetes, it's linked to being overweight, obesity, and stroke. High blood pressure, your blood pressure goes up when you're not sleeping. Also, anxiety and depression is affected too. So a lot of my students would come in and my patients would say, I'm really anxious, I'm not doing well, I can't sleep at night. So it's a big cycle. It goes around and around. If you're not sleeping, you're not getting the good quality sleep. You're probably more anxious. And if you're anxious, you can't get sleep. So it's a big cycle. And a lot of times you're going to wake up in the middle of the night and you're going to eat something really heavy carbs or unhealthy. So we need to break that cycle. So why is it important? It helps your brain work properly. And while you're sleeping, your brain's preparing for the next day. So you're actually remembering, you're forming pathways. All those characters you meet during the day, all those people, they're probably going to be in your dreams. All those things you've memorized and things will be more refreshed in your brain. So sleep.
Kristina, I wanted to mention, so we just got a message in the chat from Rachel F, and it kind of ties into exactly what you're saying. She initially answered our question. She said, I think sleep is important because of dreams. When in REM sleep, we are processing things that have happened during the day, and sometimes we figure out solutions to problems or questions. So I just want to throw that out there. That was a great answer.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. We're going to go over REM sleep and when you dream and all of that. So when you're making trouble making decisions, right? Or you want to solve a problem, or you can't do it, or you're angry, or you can't control your emotions, all of that could be because you're sleep deprived, right? Think about it. So there's also been linked to depression, suicide, and high risk-taking behaviors. So we need to really look at why people aren't getting enough sleep. It's really, it's much more than just your memory. There's a lot of components to this. So fatigue and sleepiness, that reduces your productivity, and then you could have accidents that way, falling off a ladder, God forbid, or you're just so tired that you just drive off the road. And the National Sleep Foundation is the website that I get a lot of my information from. They do a recent Sleep Health Index, and they say that there are 3% of Americans, which are more than 7 million drivers, report falling asleep behind the wheel within the past 2 weeks. So it also shows that only very few people feel well rested only 4 days a week. So we need to keep that a priority. And your hormones are balanced too. That makes you feel hungry or full. So you've got your ghrelin and leptin, and those are all, when you don't get enough sleep, your level of ghrelin goes up and then your level of leptin goes down. So that makes you hungrier late at night when you, even, you know, if you feel like you were well rested. It affects your insulin level, okay? The hormone that controls your blood sugar, insulin, you've heard of that. And when you're sleep deprived, you've got a higher than normal blood sugar, and that can increase your risk for diabetes. Your cells are repairing during sleep. So your wear and tear, your protein is synthesized. So any type of rejuvenative functions like your skin, tissue repair, your muscle growth, all of that protein, hormonal synthesis, all that occurs during sleep. It's like your brain is flushing away toxins, right? And you're just rejuvenating. That's so important to get the right quality stages of sleep. And we'll go over that. Immunity sleep. I tell all my patients when we come in with COVID symptoms or cold symptoms or mono symptoms or sore throat symptoms, why are you sick 3 times a month? What's going on? Because my immunity is bad because I'm not sleeping. So that has a link. Sleep equals immunity. If you really have a good sleep, you're going to fight off all those viruses. Even if you're, not vaccinated, we're strongly recommending vaccination with COVID vaccine. But if you're not, you really do need, more importantly, sleep, because that's immunity. And also it solidifies and consolidates memory, and working safely. That's important too. So people that suffer from chronic diseases, like, older people maybe have hypertension, maybe your parents, or diabetes, depression, obesity, those, even cancer has been linked to sleep deprivation now, and Alzheimer's, which is scary. I've just read an article that showed the myelination gets in the brain, gets really kind of whittled away. And so we can get more of an Alzheimer's disease as we get older if we're not sleeping right when you're now at this age and younger. So you've got, what happened? Our society is 24/7. Everything's on your phone, right? You can get everything, Uber Eats, you can do 3 o'clock in the morning, you can go shopping on Amazon. Everything is 24/7 now. And that impacts our life, the community, how we feel about, the stress levels are high, the technology's super strung out. You can watch movies at 4 a.m. It's super easy to get to. So we're going to talk about how you should shut things off, and blue light and melatonin and all that. So insomnia and obstructive sleep apnea are 2 really big things that I deal with a lot of my students and patients. So about 70 million people in the United States have sleep or wakefulness disorder. This is my little mascot, Spudgy. He's been with me for about a decade. So I don't know if I can get to his video, Allie. There's a little button here that you can press, and I'm not sure if we can do it or not, but it's a cute little video clip.
Kristina, if you click on the video itself, it might come up. Otherwise, I can just go ahead and share it for you.
Yeah, I can't do it. It's not letting me.
Can't do it? I'll just go ahead and share real quick then. And
Yeah.
I'll start that video. Hold on 1 second. All right. Let's see. All right. So we're going to watch Spudgy.
Yep.
Looks like it's lagging a bit.
It reminds me of how we all want to sleep, but we keep fighting it. Yeah. He finally crashes. So thank you so much, Allie.
No problem. Sorry, it's a little bit choppy, but
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
great
get
all
that good.
together. So
Yeah.
Kristina, you can go back to sharing by clicking that screen share button on your screen.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
So yeah, Spudgy, he's my favorite. What happens when you're sleeping? So deep sleep coincides with the release of growth hormones in your age group, young adults. So what happens is protein. Remember we talked about how protein is increased. So they're the building blocks of your cells. You've got to have protein, cell repair, repair needed for damage due to this sun that we're in 24/7 with ultraviolet rays. You've got stress. Your deep sleep is actually your beauty sleep. It's funny how, there was a joke saying, well, why did Sleeping Beauty sleep for 100 years? Because she was so beautiful, right? So activities in part of the brain that control emotions, those are reduced when you're actually deep sleep. And sleep and wakefulness, they're actually controlled by neurotransmitters. And your brain, like foods and medicines that change the balance of these signals in your brain, the pineal gland, it affects whether you're alert or drowsy. The longer you stay awake, the more your body's saying, I want to sleep, right? So caffeinated drinks, coffee, soda, who drinks those? Do you drink any Starbucks? Do you drink a lot of Starbucks? Do you drink sodas? Those can cause insomnia. And the best bet is to stop the caffeine after 3 p.m. Because of their half-life. The half-life is about 6 to 8 hours. So you want to shut off. It's just a tip to make sure you shut off the caffeine at 3 p.m. This is a really cool slide. It tells you when you wake up, and let's say 6 o'clock, your rise in blood pressure is about 6:45. Your melatonin stops secreting at 7:30 in the morning. You're most likely to have a bowel movement about 8:30, and then your highest testosterone is about 9. You're most alert at 10 o'clock. So that's when you have the hardest class, probably, I hope, when you schedule that. And then your best coordination is about 2:30. Your fastest reaction time, is 3:30. Your best time to work out is about 5 o'clock, because that's when you have your greatest cardiovascular efficiency and your muscle strength. Your highest blood pressure is about 6:30, and your highest body temperature is about 7. So then around 11 o'clock, your melatonin secretion starts. And what interferes with that is making sure that blue light is shut off at night, right? The way you increase your melatonin is getting 20 minutes of vitamin D or sunshine in the daytime. So and then your bowel movements are suppressed. So I thought that was a really cool Da Vinci slide. And you can probably get copies of this. We can mail it out or put it on our website. It's up to Allie. They'll figure out how to do that. So you've got two kind of processes for the brain. You've got a restorative process, and that occurs how long we're awake. The longer you're awake, the more drive you are to sleep. And then the second process is kind of like timing of your sleep and wakefulness day or night cycle. You've heard of circadian rhythm, and circadian clock is in our brain. The part of the brain is called the super nucleus, suprachiasmatic nucleus. It's influenced by light, okay? And I'm going to show you this here. This is where the pineal gland is, the hypothalamus and thalamus. And the thalamus is critical to sleep because it has neurons that go through that circadian rhythm, and it regulates chemicals. So it tells you, gee, I'm going to go to sleep now. And it kind of winds down your body. And it's like a neural dance. It goes in and out. And you'll notice that even I tell people, don't use a night light, because even the pineal gland will see that night light, and it's going to interfere with the quality and the deep sleep. So you want to shut everything off, make sure it's really dark. So the circadian clock regulates the cycles, and important hormones we talked about are released, like blood pressure is lowered, your kidney functions are changing, and memory's consolidated. The clock in the brain runs a 24-hour clock, and we're the most deepest sleep is between 2 and 4 a.m. And in the afternoon between 1 and 3 is probably when we feel most sleepy. So you have a continuous sleep that becomes restorative, and that's when you feel really refreshed. But obviously, if you take, medications like allergy medicine, things that are making you feel groggy, that can be a problem in the morning. But the most important thing to remember is the brain in slumber. You've got to have an unwind time so your brain will start getting used to that time. Timing is everything in sleep. And this kind of shows when adenosine is the chemical that comes down and that starts shutting everything off and then picking it back up in the morning. So when we go through different stages of sleep, and we're more likely to have REM. You've heard of REM sleep, rapid eye movement, non-REM, and we've got a typical 8-hour period. So each of those stages are 90 minutes long. So the most important thing to remember is I'd like you guys to get at least 4 or 5 cycles of sleep, the stages of sleep. That would be great. So non-REM is about 75% of the night. And you go into non-REM in the beginning, right? You start falling asleep within 5, 10, 15 minutes. Stage 1 is light. So you're still awake, but you're entering the sleep. Stage 2, you start disengaging with the environment. Your breathing, your heart rate is regular, but your body temperature is lowering, right? Your deepest and most restorative sleep is stage 3 and 4. And that's when your blood pressure is dropping, your breathing is slower, your energy's regained, you're rejuvenating, right? Your hormones are being released for growth and development. Super important. And then REM is 25% of the night. So it's 90 minutes after you fall asleep and increases during the night, okay? So that's the most important. That's the providing your energy to the brain and body. And that's when brain is active. Your dreams are occurring. We sleep in color. We dream in color and black and white. I believe we switched to color when our television sets and things were switched from black and white in the 60s. It's interesting to note that now we're dreaming in color, right? So your eyes are darting back and forth. Your bodies are immobile. You're relaxed. Muscles are shutting down. Your breathing and heart rate can become irregular. But it's important. This is super important for daytime performance, memory consolidation. Super, super important. So
Yeah, I wanted
here's
to interrupt for a second and just
yeah,
read off a comment. So Rachel's been chiming in. Thank you so much, Rachel, for interacting with us.
yeah,
We love
thank
your
you, Rachel.
comments.
Yeah,
So she said, complete darkness is best. She recommended trying eye covers. We fortunately have one in our swag bag that will be raffling off at the end of this workshop. So one of you might get to go pick up a swag bag with a bunch of great sleep essentials in it, including an eye cover.
yes.
She also said something that helps with temperature is wearing socks at night. Christina, do you have any input on that?
Yeah, so I usually tell my patients to take to take a warm shower. You can take a bath, something to lower the body temperature. Socks, as long as they're not constricting your legs and circulation, you want to make sure that your legs and all your circulation is breathing correctly. That's fine. Also, there are sleepwear that I can't really recommend because I'm not allowed to do that, but you can look into some sleepwear that has wick and moisture absorption, and that helps a lot with sweating, but you don't want to be hot in bed. We're going to go over the tips with the best temperature and everything and sleep mask in a second. So this just shows REM and non-REM at brain activity. They did a study and it showed the rapid eye movement, heart rate, most dreams are occurring in REM. So I thought that was really cool to see the deeper stages of sleep. So you want to establish a sleep routine. You want to make sure that your most important thing to remember is going to bed at the same time every night, getting up at the same time every day. You've got to establish that even on weekends. It's important. So bedtime mostly would be best before midnight. That's when you get your good quality. Remember the cycles. You have to get those cycles in. So before midnight, if it's after midnight, you're cutting your cycles in half and you won't feel refreshed. You won't get the good REM, okay? So the most important thing is to stick to a schedule. I guarantee if you do this for 2 weeks, you won't even need an alarm clock. So you want a bedtime ritual. I say a wind down time, I say nappy time, right? Instead of happy hour, nappy hour. But I do, let's say an hour before you unwind. So if you go to bed at 11, 10 o'clock, you're going to shut off your tablet, your screen, no TV in bed, no reading in bed, no phone in bed. Your curtains are dark. You've got the whole room is dark. Cool temperature. It should be like about 65, 70 degrees. And some people like a little bit cooler. Some people like, you don't want it really hot. Okay. You want your body temperature to be cool. And that will also lower the body temperature to get you ready for sleep. You want to make sure your mattress and pillows are comfortable. Some people really don't even look at that. And that's super important because you could be sleeping on a bad pillow and your neck will crick in the morning, and that's not a good way to wake up. Exercise around 5 if you can. My point is to exercise no more than 4 hours before you go to bed because you're pumping adrenaline. So exercise is super important for sleep. It will make sure you get the best quality sleep, 30 minutes a day. You can do walking, cardio, lifting weights, whatever you're fancy, swimming, whatever you like to do. 30 minutes a day for 5 days a week is the recommended time. Bright light when you wake up, you're driving to school or work or wherever you're going, make sure you get 20 minutes of sunlight. That's going to reset your melatonin and your circadian rhythm, and you're going to get the better quality of sleep. You want to use the unwind time to shift your body into that sleep mode. So once you do that for 2 weeks, you will not have to use an alarm clock. And let's say after 20 minutes, you're laying there, you can't sleep. The recommendation says to get up, go to a room and start reading with a dim light. Only go back to bed when you're nodding off, even if it's 4 in the morning. You got to establish that wake up time at 7, you get up at 7. But you do that, and once your body gets into that rhythm of getting up, going to bed at 10, unwinding, 10 o'clock, going to bed at 11, getting up at 6 or 7, you want to have at least 7 hours of sleep. And you establish that time, shut off your tablet, your phone, no night lights. You don't want any of that blue light because that will really spoil your melatonin. And some people use eye shades, earplugs. I recommend white noise. Some people use they have those beautiful crickets or a rainfall or ocean sounds. That's great, and they even have apps now that are so cool. You can have them on your Apple Watch, or they have them on, you can download it so that you're not using Wi-Fi on your phone. You want to download it previously, and you can listen to classical music. There's so many apps. There's the Calm app. There's all kinds of things, and you can make an appointment with me, and we can talk about those things that will help. So your room and bedroom has to be cool and dark. That's really important. And then you can use lavender oil, aromatherapy, drinking hot, warm tea, green tea before you go to sleep. That's really helpful. So those are some really, really good tips. I don't think we have time to do the fatigue because I have a patient coming up soon. So maybe we can do this at another time. I'm going to go over the healthy sleep tips. Make sure that you give your time a screen time curfew. Make sure that you shut your TV, your computer, nothing in bed. Okay. If you got to work, use a table, an office, or a desk or something separate from your bed. Your mind has to see your bedroom as sleep. Okay. And then you want your bedroom to be a sleep sanctuary. I meditate. I listen to meditation apps. There's all kinds of podcasts now that you can kind of listen to bedtime stories. They're really neat. And be consistent. That's the most important thing, is sleep schedule consistent. So let me just see if we can, I don't think I can pull that up. Any questions so far? I've been really rambling on because we don't have much time for this.
So we did have a question from Carolina. It's, what's the best color of light that should be on when getting ready for bed the hour before going to sleep? Rachel chimed in a bit about warm dim light, avoiding blue light, as you had said, Kristina. There was a little discussion about what the best sleeping posture is. So just wanted to make sure that those questions were heard.
Sure. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that any kind of lighting that's light and pastel colors, that's really important. You don't want to use chartreuse reds, violent, wild colors that are very stimulative to the brain. It makes sense. Some more quiet, pastel coloring. Light blue or some tan or beige colors are good. They even recommend coloring your bedroom, like your wallpaper and your paint, to be very soothing. Okay. So light green, more of the blues and greens, I think. I think blue is the color of peace. So you want it to be very calming. Your surroundings are important. You don't want clutter and, things that make you upset and nervous. You want to kind of clean everything out, make it really quiet and dark and peaceful in your bedroom. And the things you do before your bedroom are important. If you meditate, or you listen to good, beautiful music, or you have gratification, or you talk about positive energy, right? You want to make sure you're positive energy, gratitude. Going to bed angry or upset is not the way to do it, okay? Because you're not going to get good quality sleep. So again, anxiety, get that issue taken care of. Go see one of the providers at the health center if you're having trouble sleeping, or you can see me. I'm doing telehealth. I'm at the College of Medicine, but you can always reach me telehealth, and I'd be happy to help you. My sleep patients are my number one, so I really want to help you guys in that. Sleep positioning, as long as you have a pillow, you can do that between your legs. That helps your knees and your lower back relax. Make sure your neck is supported by a good pillow, and your arms. Those are the positions. It doesn't matter, back, pillow, on your stomach. It doesn't really matter. I think as long as you're comfortable and you're not obstructing your airway. I hope that answers those questions.
Yeah, those were great answers. It looked like you addressed everything that we had been seeing in the chat up till now. So thanks, Kristina.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and then on this next slide, so this is for presentation feedback. For this one, you can go to pollev.com/UCF-SHS158. This is just so that we can get a little bit of feedback about what your thoughts about the presentation. This is something you can start now and finish later if you'd like. It's something you can do completely now, or just save it for later altogether if you want to just save the URL somewhere. And we do have our swag bag to raffle off. Again, as I'd mentioned before, sorry about that. As I'd mentioned before, it has a sleep mask, it has a mug in it, a duck, tea, sleepy time tea, which is great, one of my favorites. So I'm actually going to share a screen, and you'll see we have a fun wheel that I'm going to spin, and it'll randomly select one of you guys to win the prize.
Nice, that's cool.
So as you can see, everyone who has who's in the meeting has been entered. At the end of this, if whoever selected can just send me in the chat, you can, instead of messaging everyone, you can message me personally, and you would just send me your email so that we can coordinate picking up. So let's see. Rachel, awesome.
Oh, how cool is that? That's wonderful.
Right, pretty exciting, pretty cool.
Yes.
So yeah, Rachel, if you wouldn't mind, again, if in the chat, you can just, instead of messaging everyone, you can message me with your email. Thank you guys so much for coming to this virtual event. Again, we appreciate you sticking around, after, we started late with those technical difficulties, but we hope that you benefited as much from this information as I know I do. Honestly, Kristina is, again, an expert on everything sleep. She is available here at Student Health Services for any of you if you would like a consultation or visit. And
I'm going to put the phone number in the chat. They can call to make an appointment. And they can call, and that's the number they're going to dial. And they can ask for Kristina Grabnickas, like knickers, but it's Nickus, and Grabnick and then is. So it's very simple. And I'm a nurse practitioner, and you can ask to talk to me. You can ask for telehealth appointments. Those are really good because we spend a half an hour and we can talk about everything you have questions about sleep. I can talk to you about your personal, set up your personal sleep schedule. I think it'd be really fun. And I usually have my patients logged in 2 weeks. I have them come back after I get like a sleep diary, and we go over what they're doing, and we can tweak it so that you're all going to make straight A's, I think, right?
What we like to hear. All right, so we'll wrap this up then for today. Again, thank you guys so much, and make sure you follow us on social media. Check out our website so that you guys can stay up to date with, any announcements we have or any cool events like this in the future where you guys can participate.
Thank you, Allie. It was a pleasure. I loved it.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.